the way we have created or designed this software is to help them avoid a lot of dependencies, right? On, let's say, in technical terms, we call these as workflows or, a lot of automation. We help them to create simple rules, and the UI experience they have is also pretty intuitive.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Sree Yeggina, who is the Global Director of Sales Readiness at Microsoft. Hey, Sree, how you doing?
Hi, Andy. I'm doing well. Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here. I'm excited to dig in. Let's just start at the top here. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you get into what you're doing and what do you do now?
Sure. I am currently the Global Sales Readiness Lead for Dynamics 365 Customer Service. It's one of the SaaS or software as a service that Microsoft builds. And I'm very passionate about business applications as such. And I've been in this space for over 17 years now. I've started my career as a consultant, worked with several customers around the world, from various industries, and I'm really passionate about helping customers leverage technology to solve their business problems and achieve outcomes. As I was doing that, I actually really worked closely with the product itself over the years. And enablement is something that I really do well with the customers, to explain to them, okay, what does this mean? Because innovation happens at a lightning speed, and it's important to help them understand the business value of the feature functions. And in my current role, that's how I transitioned to this role. In my current role, my customers are field sellers within Microsoft. I work very closely with them to help them understand, why certain innovation matters and how can they pitch that to their customers to drive revenue, if that makes sense.
So yeah, it does. And so are you a service organization to the Microsoft sales team? Is that kind of the right way to position it?
I am part of a readiness team, right? Readiness team whose charter is to enable or ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide technical sellers, and their job, the seller's job, is to sell our product, which is Dynamics 365 Customer Service and suite of other business applications. My focus area is Dynamics 365 Customer Service. So really what we can do with this offering that Microsoft has is help organizations around the world, be it enterprise organizations or SMC, organizations that are in SMC or SMB segment, even, to transform the way they can deliver those customer experiences to their end customers, be it B2C or B2B scenario. We truly are a one-stop shop to help organizations around the world modernize or digitize their service and thrive.
So that sounds so fascinating. And I love the space, and there's so much innovation happening in this space. If we could take it to a street level and tell me a little bit about some of the profiles of the customers that you work with. Are they service organizations? Are they SaaS companies? Tell me a little bit about what the engagement looks like with these kinds of companies.
Absolutely. We work with companies in every industry, and we are really that horizontal, because customer service is really, in today's hyper-connected digital world, customer service is a differentiator. Customer experience is more often than not, it is becoming a strategy for businesses. So be it a healthcare organization or a public sector organization or retail or FSI, any of these organizations around the world, they need customer service. They need, at the end of the day, a way to deliver that world-class customer experience to their end customers, right? We all are consumers. We expect the same thing from the brands that we interact with, right? Be it a retail store that we walk into, or we purchased, let's say, a printer, and printer got, there is an issue with the printer, and we have to touch base with customer support team, be it, any other engagement channel like telephony, which is most common, or a digital engagement channel like a live chat, or we visit website. So all of these are engagement channels, and we as consumers, we expect the brand to truly know us, right? To leverage our data to provide that personalized customer experience. And that's really hard, right? Measuring customer experience across all the touch points over a lifetime of a consumer's relationship with the brand is one of the hardest things to do. And the brand has this responsibility to always keep up that experience, keep up the satisfaction of their end customers. And what we do is to help them, help them leverage the technology to deliver that outcome to their end customers.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. So tell me a little bit about the platform itself. Tell me about how Microsoft is helping companies in the Surface experience, and some examples of how people use the software.
Absolutely. There's a lot to this because service itself is broad, right? Be it the digital assets that we interact when it comes to reaching out to a brand, like I mentioned, virtual agents. Conversational AI is one space that plays a vital role in this space. Virtual agents across all channels, like live chat or Facebook or Twitter, or a kiosk that we interact with, or a portal, or connecting with a live agent, which is a customer service advisor or representative who connects with end customers to understand why they have approached a brand and understand the intent of the customer to provide the outcome. Or be it a face-to-face service, right? We walk into a bank and then we are greeted with the bank by a banker. All of these are various forms of service. And what we do is we've built a software which plays a very key role in transforming how that business can deliver service across all of these touch points, right? It doesn't matter really how the customer approaches the brand. We call it a open door policy, right? Customer can approach the brand in any which way, right? Depends on the demographic. A millennial may not always find that patient to wait on a phone, wait for an agent and get on a call with an agent. Instead, they probably would like to research about that issue by themselves, leverage knowledge base that's already on the website, or interact with a virtual assistant to self-serve, right, their requests. So however it is, our goal is to offer solutions or offerings that can transform these touch points or the way the consumers receive the outcome. Right? I'll give you an example. HP is our real customer, for example, or Microsoft. We ourselves are, one of our largest customers, and we operate the most complex and sophisticated service operations in the world. And we do that because we serve over 1 billion with the B, end customers, right? Be it our Xbox customers or Surface customers, or you name it, right? So we ourselves, we have over 40,000 customer service agents spread across more than 200 countries, leveraging our own technology, right? The way we go about it is, if it's a simple issue or a request that customer has, we have a way to empower end customers to resolve their own problems, right? By interacting with our, let's say, conversational AI. A customer may have an issue with their Surface tablet. Now they can interact with conversational AI, which is capable of understanding or conversing naturally with the customer to understand what the problem is, what is the outcome that customer is seeking, and provide a resolution. And sometimes maybe it's not equipped with the knowledge to provide resolution to the customer, right? And then we have a way of making sure that the customer is connected to the most skilled and the highly proficient customer service agent based on, let's say, the specific model of surface that the customer is facing an issue with, right? Not just any agent, right? We may have, like I said, 40,000 agents. We have, a way of looking across the contact center to understand, okay, this particular customer speaks the language, a specific language, let's say Spanish. Customer is reaching out about a very particular model of Surface tablet. Now, in the past, customer interacted with Microsoft and they really, really liked one particular agent. So the CSAT was up. Now, typically, this sort of issue is complex. It takes minimum 30 minutes to help customers with this kind of issues. So let's not connect this conversation to an agent whose shift is ending, right? So the estimation of time by leveraging AI also comes into picture. And then that request goes to the most skilled agent. And so by doing that, what we are avoiding is, number one, the context of why the customer reached out is completely transferred to the agent. So customer doesn't have to repeat the issue again from the beginning. Number two, agent absolutely understands what customer needs already because there is a handoff that happens from the bot to agent. And we have recent innovation that we have in the space is leveraging OpenAI, right? We have a way within agent interface to leverage that intelligence to look across internal database as well as external public websites to help that agent automatically, leverage AI and then come up with a resolution for the customer. So that brings the amount of time agent needs to spend to resolve that issue. So there's a lot to this, but to your question, we help customers across all industries. Really, there is no exemption across all industries and all verticals, and we have a lot of success.
And I love the example that you just shared there. I totally understand the routing that is necessary in order to make that happen. It's a very complex kind of thing.
Exactly.
It sounds easy on the customer side, and it should feel elegant, and it sounds like it does.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of planning that happens so that routing can happen, and so the intelligence behind it can really shine. Tell me a little bit about when you first engage with a customer, they start to use the platform, they just become a customer, there's an onboarding experience there where they need to create this routing and they need to create the rules behind the software to make that kind of experience happen. Tell me a little bit about how that experience is for the customer. So they just bought the software. Help me create this kind of outcome that you just mentioned. What does that look like?
No, that's a great question. And it really depends on the complexity of that customer's business, number one. It could be either very simple or it could be complex as well. But the way we have created or designed this software is to help them avoid a lot of dependencies, right? On, let's say, in technical terms, we call these as workflows or, a lot of automation. We help them to create simple rules, and the UI experience they have is also pretty intuitive, right? But at the end of the day, they need to know, okay, when we talk about routing, how many contact center agents are going to serve their end customers? And of these agents, do they need to dedicate few agents just for telephony conversations versus do they have a blended agent type of scenario where agents are, supposed to handle both voice as well as digital engagement channel interactions. So those are the few things they need to consider.
Sure.
And skill sets, right? This works really well if they identify, okay, you have, let's say, 1,000 agents, and each agent may have specific skills and varying levels of proficiency, even when we talk about skills. Right, one agent maybe is very fluent in English versus Spanish. Agent may have a lot of knowledge about a specific, model of a product. They're really good at doing, billing or maybe audit. all those skills need to be identified, attached to those agents. That's one. And really, there is intelligence also in place. There are AI models that are there within that routing engine, which are highly accurate. And that any AI model in our offering are extremely accurate because we, as Microsoft, like I mentioned, we ourselves are responsible to anticipate our end customers' expectations, which are growing, constantly. As an organization, when we provide service to our end customers, we leverage AI to understand the trends, emerging trends, and any upcoming frustrations of customers to take right action at the right time. So we have our own first-party data from serving our billion plus end customers, and we trained our AI models to be with that our own first-party data. Something a lot of our competitors cannot claim. And we do that because we are huge as a company, and then everything that we've built as part of our software, the AI models are trained with these first-party data, which also means that it's extremely accurate. And so when we talk about routing, we have this AI model called Intelligent Skill Finder, ISF, right? What it does is based on that incoming conversation. Let's say the conversation is coming from live chat or maybe a telephone conversation. Doesn't matter really. It works in omnichannel way. Regardless of the channel of interaction, ISF is an AI model which can help identify the skills that are needed to provide that accurate outcome to the end customer. So the skills get attached automatically to that conversation, and then it will look at rest of the contact center and then match, okay, this particular incoming, if we go back to the previous example, this interaction requires an agent who needs to have good proficiency in speaking Spanish and that particular product skill set. So that becomes the skill to look across the contact center, right, and identify the right customer service agent as an example. So when an organization is designing unified routing or this intelligent routing, they need to definitely consider the skill set of their workforce. And then what's the one thing, if I need to call out, the beauty of the whole thing is supervisors who are, responsible to keep up that overall operational efficiency of an organization, they can measure the success or the performance of these rules. We call them routing rules by leveraging something called diagnostics, unified routing diagnostics. And they can see, okay, these rules, let's say there are 500 routing rules, how well are they performing? Can we shift and adjust these rules to optimize that performance? And we do that really well. And everything is built as part of our software, which is Dynamics 365 Customer Service. That makes sense.
It does. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And you touched on several points that I want to kind of double click on and kind of expand here.
Please do. Yes.
One of the things that you mentioned there is ISF. Let's talk a little bit about the AI here, because I find the use of AI in customer support fascinating. And I think that this assisted kind of model or co-pilot model in the Microsoft kind of vernacular is so useful to be able to, like you said, help resolve that ticket as quickly as possible for the customer. So in that experience on the agent level, let's say a ticket comes in, it gets routed to the agent. At that point, is there a panel in front of the agent that tells the agent a suggestion that based on what's happening on the phone call or what might be happening in the live chat, that these might be possible solutions to the query that the customer has?
Absolutely. And you mentioned Copilot, which I'm super impressed by that. That's our latest innovation, by leveraging OpenAI, right? And it's game changing. One, because we have this exclusive partnership with OpenAI, and across the board, across business applications, as well as Power Platform. We are leveraging OpenAI to transform our application itself. So when it comes to customer service, Dynamics 365 customer service, once that interaction, again, coming from any channel, it could be any interaction, it could be as of today, it is the live chat interaction where this innovation is happening. But in future, we have plans to scale this to analog channel like voice as well. Let's say there is a live chat interaction, and that interaction, by leveraging unified routing, is accurately connected to an agent. Now, once agent picks up that interaction, right, within agent interface, there's a lot of intelligence that is built in, one of which is Copilot. Right? We call this the entire suite of these features are part of something called productivity pane. A Copilot is one of the things that is easily accessible by the agent. But what it does, in effect, is it is capable of understanding the intent of that customer, who is conversing with the agent at real time. Like think of this as agent's personal assistant, right? Virtual assistant with its own intelligence. And so what happens is, let's say agent is working with 5 different customers, which is possible, right? Agents, the way we build our application is to allow customer service agents to maximize their productivity. So I, as an agent, I can work with 5 to 6 different customers who are approaching that particular brand for entirely different, 5 different reasons, right?
Yeah.
But the Copilot is powerful enough to understand the context of each conversation.
Yeah, it's a threaded conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. And then it is capable of looking across, let's say there are 50,000 knowledge base articles that are published. It can look across this internal database, knowledge base, as well as externally published websites to provide, a concise resolution if agent is seeking for a resolution, or maybe agent just needs more information on that particular product. It really depends on what agent wants, but the way the technology is built is to provide that flexibility to the agent. You want the Copilot to provide resolution, or investigate more on the, product, or troubleshoot, or organizations can create their own custom logic to make that Copilot work the way they want. But in effect, what it does is it brings the amount of time, again, agent needs to spend by, ideally what would agent do? Agent would have to search across internal database, also research about any complex issues, right? That time is brought down, and there's a sort of a handshake or collaboration that is happening here, right? Copilot will not automatically send that response to end customers. It will not take the decision in its hands. It will simply provide that information to an agent. At the end of the day, it is the agent who can verify this information, or maybe make changes, and then leverage that information to provide outcome to the customer. That's one example. I'll touch upon another one AI model here, which is also phenomenal. Feedback, right, is super important in customer service space. As an agent is working with, again, 5 different customers, as an example, it's important for an agent to pay attention to customer satisfaction, right? And usually, typically what businesses do is post-conversation, they send out a survey to understand how well the agent has provided the outcome.
Sure.
But again, that's not as effective as gaining that knowledge right there at real time in the middle of the conversation. So we have another AI model that is built as part of agent interface called real-time sentiment analysis. Again, highly accurate, trained with our own proprietary first-party data. What it does is, even if agent is working with multiple end customers, it has a way to understand if the customer is frustrated due to some reason. Let's say I'm working with 5 different customers, but I'm currently chatting with third customer. Customer number 1 is frustrated due to some reason. It gives me a signal as an agent for me to pay attention to customer number 1, because at the end of the day, it's the CSAT that businesses should really pay attention to. Unless the customers are truly, truly happy, the brand loyalty and stickiness of customers won't, go up. And so that's how we have designed the, product to help organizations focus not just on quantitative metrics like average handle time and, other metrics like bringing down case resolution time. It is also about transforming how they improve their qualitative metrics like CSAT and agent satisfaction.
Love that. It makes perfect sense to me. And I'm so fascinated by where we are in this moment in time with the human AI dial. Like, where are we in this? Where full AI is full self-driving, let's say, and versus just human as it has been for a long time. We're kind of in this blended state right here. Where do you think we are in this continuum, and where do you think we get to full self-driving kind of mode where these large language models can kind of operate autonomously to a point maybe, but really, drive these CSAT scores up because they can resolve tickets so much faster? And large language model AI can handle way more than 6 concurrent customers at a time, which can boost CSAT scores, right? So where do you think we are in this moment in time, given the bird's eye view that you have?
I think full AI, 100% AI driving service is not going to happen. There's always going to be a handshake between AI and human. It really depends on, and this is very important, first of all, because the way we have built the technology is, yes, AI is powerful. It is capable of resolving, majority of customer requests, but there are few topics, or we call them, conversations that will always need a human intervention. How much ever, intelligent AI is, or, how much ever cost effective that option is, if businesses need to truly thrive and build that, relationship with their end customers, that human factor is always going to be crucial. I'll give you a couple of examples. A business should know their end customers and what they want, right? There's going to be all sorts of segments, target audience, segments. Someone like my father, who is 77 years old, would never be comfortable just conversing with AI. They want to talk to a human, right? And a business should understand their end customers, should always give that flexibility for them to, at any point, touch base or connect if they want, right, with a human agent. Or someone like me, right? Like, maybe we don't mind conversing with AI as long as it understands the intent, why I'm approaching a brand. Today, the AI is so powerful that it not just provides a question and answer kind of service when we are doing, interacting with the brand. It also is powerful enough to take action on behalf of the customer. Let's say I have a order delivery tomorrow and I can get notification, but I'm out of town tomorrow. I can simply interact with AI on my preferred channel to, ask that, hey, can you please move this order delivery date to 1 week from now because I'm out of, state. And that conversational AI, the way we've built it, is capable enough to understand that who I am, first of all, number one, and access my records and then change that order delivery date. It is taking action on behalf of me. A human is not needed to do that action. And I'm comfortable with that, which is super effective. And a lot of our customers are taking advantage of that self-service automation piece. And we also actually recently acquired Nuance, which is going to be game-changing. It's a leader in conversational AI space, especially when it comes to regulated industries like FSI or healthcare. Nuance is capable of identifying fraud, as well, which is huge in terms of cost savings for a brand. Just let's say on a telephone channel, I as a customer, I say hello, and Nuance conversational AI can identify me, who I am, uniquely through my voice print. And if a fraudster is trying to get away as me, it can flag that, hey, flag that to the brand. So it is phenomenal what we have in terms of technology and innovation in this space. But again, having said that, there are going to be topics that are not best suited for, AI, like highly sensitive topics in healthcare. Maybe a patient is approaching for a specific health related, question. Maybe that's not a topic that the AI should help the patient. It should be, there's got to be a empathy element to that, and a brand should know when to directly connect that conversation to an agent. So it's always going to be a balance between AI and assisted support with humans.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about this multi-channel world that we live in, and how Microsoft is addressing that from an omni-channel kind of solution.
Right.
Talk a little bit about some of the functionality from an omni-channel perspective. If I'm a customer, am I plugging in my Facebook, my Instagram, Twitter accounts, all these accounts into the platform so that
Yes.
agents on the other side can then start to respond to any of those inquiries? So let's say I'm an airlines, for example, and something happens, bad weather, flights are delayed, people start complaining on Twitter or what have you. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
So the omni-channel or the digital engagement has become even more relevant, during our pandemic time, as well as, post-pandemic age that we are living in. The way we approach a brand or leverage service is not just via emails or telephony as a channel, although those two are actually the most prominent channels of engagement for customers. But a lot of us are on social media, right? Like on average, each individual today has at least 2 to 3 social media. They have their presence on social media platforms, which also means it is increasingly prevalent that they would like to connect with a brand through their channel of choice, right? Somebody who's sitting or who is leveraging Facebook or Instagram quite often, and they're following that brand, they would like to just reach out to that brand or even complain or leverage their support as well as products, all of that through the channel of their choice. Now, as a business, a lot of businesses are scaling their support through various digital engagement channels. And we have a way of helping businesses light up, various channels, WhatsApp or Twitter or Facebook. It really doesn't matter. We have it all. But really where Microsoft differentiates is treating all channels alike, which is a huge statement, because one channel in particular is very different, which is telephony channel, as compared to rest of the channels, the digital engagement channels like live chat or Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp and other channels. Telephony as a channel is analog, number one, and there is a lot of complexity even to, if you take a simple, a small company as an example, even if that company wants to engage their customers over phone channel, the kind of technologies that needs to come together to help them light up a basic contact center is complex. There's going to be minimum 3 to 4 technologies that needs to work together for that company to just simply serve their customers on telephony channel. I'll not get into the weeds of it, but know that that's complex. And so what happens in business world is organizations end up working with multiple vendors to light up their telephony channel as well as other digital engagement channels. Enabling digital engagement channels is definitely not complex at all. There are a lot of vendors out there who can do this, but there is no software out there which can help light up all of these channels on a single platform, built on a single cloud, not just any cloud, the most reliable, flexible, and secure cloud on the planet. And that's what we do. That is our differentiation. We treat voice as well as other digital channels alike. Now that statement transforms the experience for a customer service agent. And ultimately, it will help that agent deliver the true North Star, which is that unique, differentiated customer experience to the end customers. For an agent who is leveraging Dynamics 365 customer service, it's really not going to be any different if they are working with them over a phone versus a digital engagement channels. That's the consistency of their experience, employee experience is what we can offer. And, that's phenomenal. It's game changing in a way, I must say.
Very much. And that omni-channel kind of solution and kind of normalizing the different channels that any of these inquiries come through so that you deliver that outstanding customer experience across the board. Like you said, that's a very hard thing to do. So it's very interesting to learn about how you're helping companies accomplish that. Last thing I want to talk about a little bit is as your position as the Director of Sales Readiness, tell me a little bit about what sales readiness is for Microsoft in this regard. Is this direct to business? Is it through VARs and resellers? Talk to me a little bit about how you help your sales channels become effective at their jobs to be able to educate and inform and then ultimately sell your solutions to their customers.
Sales readiness is, I mean, I can speak to myself in the role. It's quite empowering because you get to interact with sellers from around the world and you get to learn from them about, that particular GU's challenges and then the buyers and then, how they want to go about selling the software, because the way we look at customer service in North America could be slightly different, how they sell or interact with the buyers in, Europe versus how it is in Asia. So as part of my role, I have this privilege of working with sellers from around the world. That helps me gain a lot of multiple, geographic perspectives of how this business is looked upon. And it's quite exciting also to keep in touch with product innovation. Number one, I work closely with engineering teams to understand how the product roadmap is shaping. What are the latest and greatest innovations that are happening with respect to our offering? And then my job is to keep my field sellers up to date on, with this innovation, and not just through the lens of, oh, this is a feature, we all need to know about this feature. No, why should we care about this feature? How are we different from rest of the competition? The unique differentiation is something that I always harp on and in search of. And how can we tell a story? At the end of the day, it's all about telling a story, right? Tell a story to our business decision makers, a story that resonates with them, a story that can highlight what are some of the business outcomes that they can achieve through our technology. At the end of the day, technology is something that's prevalent within Microsoft as well as everywhere around the world. There are many, many competitors that we have in this space. So, and everybody is good in their own, way. But at the end of the day, the technology is just a means to help an organization achieve their goals. And if we do this better than everybody, then my job is to help my sellers understand, okay, what is that, right? What's our unique differentiation? What is our competitive edge? How do we handle objections? What are some of the latest and greatest innovations that are happening with this product? And what exactly, there could be like 30 new things that are released, but what matters to you guys and what you should keep up, learning, and then be it a hands-on kind of readiness or just business knowledge that they need to know. My job is to help them take advantage of those innovations and then sell more.
I love it. It's so fascinating to me. And I guess as you're saying these things, I'm thinking that you have this huge library and knowledge base of all of the materials that your sales people are going to need to access. Is that all in a wiki, or what how do you set that up so that it evolves and it's also accessible to your sales team?
We do. Internally within Microsoft, we leverage SharePoint to organize this content. Yes, to your question, we have a lot of content. I run a bunch of readiness events within Microsoft and constantly deliver this content. And so there is a way of going about clearly managing this content. SharePoint is one space, and OneDrive and SharePoint is what we leverage. Externally, it is we have Microsoft Docs documentation team who takes care of just making sure the product level knowledge is clearly articulated in the documentation. That is one-stop shop for external audience like customers or data partners. I'm not sure about the platform that they leverage, but Microsoft documentation is one. And then we also have Microsoft Learn, where the courses are built in a certain way. So anybody who wants to upskill or keep up with the technology, they can do certifications, and they have these courses that they can take to build knowledge. So again, I don't know which platform.
That's great. And Sree, how can people find you, and how do they find your software platform within Microsoft?
Well, I have a LinkedIn profile. It's, you can find me pretty easily. Sree Yeggina is the profile name. And I'm happy to connect with all of you. You'll see me, evangelizing a lot of customer service content and any latest and greatest innovations that are happening. I would be sharing thoughts on my LinkedIn profile.
Wonderful. Well, Sree, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Likewise, Andy. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's always lovely to, just talk about what's happening with our offering within Microsoft. So this is great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's such an exciting space, and I love the innovation that Microsoft is leading with these days. And it's very exciting to see how you're helping companies level up their game with their own customer support so they can deliver outstanding customer experiences.
Thank you so much. You have a lovely day. Thank you.
You too. Thanks so much.